Talked about how apologetic Conor McGregor has been throughout this whole situation. What's been your impression talking to him? What's he like on the phone? Because obviously we didn't get to hear from him today.
As I mentioned earlier today, what took place on October 10th, he was extremely apologetic, apologized profusely, not only to the commission, but to the fans, to his fellow fighters. And I thought he was very honest and forthright, and there was no agreement in place. And as I stated earlier today, he left the decision up to the commission. And our subsequent meeting that was chaired by the chairman, Marnell, I thought was outstanding. That we came together, we sat down, we had a mutually beneficial conversation. We got an appreciation of what his concerns and interests were, and he clearly understood what our interests and concerns are as the fight capital of the world. And it was very productive, very cordial, very productive, very professional. So I believe it was a win-win situation, and it was led by the chairman.
What steps do you think Mr. McGregor is going to have to take to, and I don't want to be condescending at all, to make his, I guess, apology or community service kind of make an impact on the Children Against Bullying, given his charismatic persona?
Yeah, you know, he's very charismatic. He's a phenomenal fighter. He's great with the media. He's got phenomenal communication skills as well as fighting skills. So for him to sit down with kids, considering his background and, you know, went from, you know, a rough childhood, from what I understand, to stardom, he's got a litany of things that he can talk to about the kids that are growing up and that he can share with them so that they can move in the right direction in life and have a productive future. So I think he can have a tremendous impact on the children he speaks to and wherever he decides to speak to them.
Were you present with the meeting with him when he came into town?
Yes, I was.
And what was your impression?
As I previously stated, it was spearheaded by the chairman. His counsel was present, his manager was present, Conor, myself, and I guess the best way to put it, it was mutually beneficial. It was a win-win situation, and all parties got to articulate their concerns and what he can expect from the Nevada State Athletic Commission as the fight capital of the world. And you know, we realized what his concerns were, and that's why, excuse me, the chairman was willing to go ahead and allow his attorney to provide a rehearing and then a motion for reconsideration. So I think actually it's a great day for the commission, and it's a great move by the chairman to show that we are customer service oriented. We run a business, we're in the fight business, and we take a lot of pride in what we do. And we want to make sure that the fighters know when they come here, they're going to be treated respectfully, fairly, and they don't need to worry the end result of the fight. They're going to have great officiating. It's a great city for fights, and it's a win-win situation for everybody.
Did he reach out to you, or did you reach out to him for the meeting?
No, they reached out to the chairman. They reached out, excuse me, to our Chief Deputy Attorney General, Brent Gibson. And then, of course, the attorneys got together first, and then the chairman asked me to join him in the meeting, and I was more than happy to do so.
Did you feel like Conor was happy with the outcome?
Yes, it was a great meeting. He's got a good sense of humor. Everybody put their cards on the table, so to speak. We were very candid with one another, and as I stated before, it was mutually beneficial, and I think that's what it's all about. Today was, I really believe today was a great day for our commission. The chairman articulated it very clearly to you earlier about what we're trying to do. We're trying to be fair and reasonably firm and to be consistent. And, you know, for the fighters that represent themselves in a noteworthy fashion, we always like to recognize them too. And for the ones that don't, well, you know, then we have to deal with them, but we want to deal with them fairly and equitably and move forward, because you know, in the past, you know, nobody's 100%. In the past, some of our probably decisions could be interpreted as being too conservative, TOO. But you know, like anything else, the longer you're on the job, the better you do.
Looking back to that night and talking to Conor, What's your impression on what actually happened that night? Did he lose his cool? Was he just going over the top with the promotion side of fighting? What,
I'm not sure what you mean by the night.
the day of the water bottle incident.
Well, you know, the water bottle incident has to speak for itself. I can't speak to that. What you saw in the video, obviously, both parties acted in the manner in which they did, which was unprofessional. Both of them were provoked, and they took actions that were not indicative of what you would expect from elite fighters fighting in the fight capital of the world. And you know, it was unfortunate that it came to that, but hopefully this is a learning situation for everybody. So when they come here, you know, it's okay to have a little bit of a rough press conference. You know, Dana always gets in the middle of it, or a boxing promoter, but we don't want it to go over the top where, you know, someone in the media or the public could get hurt.
So I guess
And that's really what our
So
concerns are.
So I guess my question is, in talking to him, did he ever make any sort of excuse for what happened, or any explanation what was going through his
No,
head?
he didn't make any excuses. He, as I stated earlier, he was very apologetic and explained himself clearly and concisely, and he brought some good points out. And if you'd want further comments, those are comments statements you'd have to get for Conor. I wouldn't want to speak on Conor's behalf. Otherwise, he and I might have to, no.
There was a legal action taken by his side. Do you know if, as part of this, that was dropped, or was that even discussed as part of the negotiation?
No, that wasn't, in our meeting, that wasn't discussed about his legal options to go to district court. That was not the purpose of the meeting. The purpose of the meeting was to share each side's positions and what he can expect from us and what we expect from him, which is pretty much all the fighters. So whatever direction he wanted to go, should it be district court or whatever, was not an issue, nor was it discussed during our meeting with him and his attorney and his manager.
I know you probably don't want to deal too much in hypotheticals, but if someone had been hurt, do you think this plays out differently from your guys' perspective?
Yeah, I think you answered that question yourself, Adam. I don't deal in hypotheticals, and you know, you can figure that out for yourself, with all due respect.
No problem.
You know.
Obviously, he wanted to get this settled anyways because Vegas is the fight capital of the world, but how much do you think the possible Mayweather fight coming up kind of sped this process up of him wanting to get this thing settled?
I don't think the Mayweather fight had anything to do with it when we sat down and we met. They're completely two separate issues. Those fights have to be approved. It wasn't an issue that we were even looking at. We wanted to resolve the pending litigation that he had, so that it was a win-win situation. And as the chairman clearly stated, there were concerns that he felt, as did I, with the $75,000 fine and the $75,000 anti-bullying presentation, that it wasn't really clear, and there was too much gray matter in there, and it just felt a little uncomfortable. And so we thought, once they reached out, we were happy to speak to them to make sure that all the questions were answered, and it was a constructive conversation, a meaningful conversation. And more importantly, I hope all the other fighters learn from it. You know, this is just not an isolated situation. It's one we want to avoid in the future.
Conor will be back in Las Vegas to fight again?
Well, I certainly hope he is. That obviously is his prerogative. That's something to deal with his promoter. But, you know, our doors are open for business, and we'd love to have Conor fight here, just like we do all the elite fighters and the fighters that are working their way up. Who doesn't want to fight in Las Vegas?
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you. My pleasure.